Jury selection for the trial against A$AP Rocky is underway. The hip-hop star has been charged with allegedly firing a gun at his former friend and member of the A$AP mob rap collective A$AP Rally.
Now, Rocky has pleaded not guilty to 2 felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm, and his attorney says no crime was committed. Joining us now is ABC News legal contributor Brian Buckmire and ABC News contributor Mike Muse. Okay, so A$AP Rocky just turned down a plea deal. Brian, what does this tell us?
Yeah, so think about this. Plea deals can happen all the way up until the 11th hour, meaning even just before jury selection is picked. And it happened here. Put it this way. A$AP Rocky is facing a maximum of 24 years in prison, but the district attorney says we'll give you 180 days in jail, so about 6 months, 7 years suspended, and 3 years of probation. That's a lot less than the maximum he could be facing. So as a defense attorney, that tells me a number of things. Is there something wrong with the prosecution's case? Are they worried about either a witness testifying or how this may come out? Or do they really just want this case to go away? But to take back that plea and say, I don't want it, I think it says a lot about A$AP Rocky, because at the end of the day, it's his choice as to whether or not he takes a plea, and he may either in his heart of hearts believe he didn't commit this crime, or he knows that there's something wrong in this case.
And Mike, the judge wants to get jurors in place pretty quickly, and the fact that A$AP is a rapper, his partner is Rihanna, he's saying that there's no way that can harm him or benefit him. Do you believe that?
That's a great question. I think, DeMarco, I would like to get to the point that the essence of the question of is there any bias is going to be associated, in particular around the jury pool. A$AP's attorney actually went to file a motion to the judge about biases in the demographic of the jury pool, saying that there's only 5% of the jury pool that was selected were African American. I think that goes into the context of you wanting to be judged by a jury of your peers. The challenge is with not having a jury of your peers is, does this jury actually understand the cultural context of hip hop? Does the jury actually understand the context of what this A$AP mob is called? But really, it's just a friend group, right? And is this friend group have so much dissension amongst each other? Think of it as a band of brothers, right? And brothers, families fight all the time, right? And so will they be able to separate what sometimes is hip hop is miscategorized as criminal versus as friendly, dynamic, and behavior if they don't understand cultural context and nuance?
Okay, well, let's talk about what happened here then. So A$AP Rally claims Rocky shot at him and that bullets grazed his knuckles. But Rocky's attorney says they don't have the evidence to prove this. What's the evidence here? What are we going to find out? Do they have the evidence to prove it?
So it's a number of things, and depending on who you ask, it's either helpful or harmful to Rocky's defense. Now, they have video evidence that they claim shows a person that they can't necessarily identify holding a firearm and pointing at the direction of A$AP Rally. Now, think about it in terms of this. As you're looking at me now, you can't see the other people on the set here with me. And so that's kind of what they have, a person pointing the gun, but not seeing where that bullet might have gone or how it might affect an individual. Rocky's defense is also saying in that photo, there's no muzzle fire. And so if this was a firearm that was discharged, where was that muzzle fire? Also, law enforcement spent some time looking for the shell casing and couldn't find it. But some days later, Relly says he came back with the shell casings and found it. The other thing, too, is, as a former homicide public defender myself, I've never heard of someone getting shot at and only having their knuckles grazed. That's not an injury that makes a lot of sense. But you have the video, you have the holding of what appears to be a firearm, even though Rocky's attorneys are saying that could be a prop gun, and there's no evidence to suggest that. So it's going to have to be decided by 12 people in a jury.
All right, Mike, A$AP Rocky, pretty famous. He's still making music. He's got a part in what Spike Lee's film that's coming up. He's made his mark in fashion. Yeah. The judge is allowing cameras inside the courtroom. What does that mean for the court of public opinion?
It's going to be a really big moment culturally and contextually because of the fact that you mentioned that he's in the Spike Lee film. He's also headlining a major concert music festival that's going to be happening with Rolling Loud. He's also one of the co-chairs of the Met Fashion Gala. And so this is A$AP's moment to come back into the sun. We haven't heard from A$AP Rocky in almost over a decade making another album. So you're going to see a split screen of what the public perception, the hip hop community and culture community feel about A$AP Rocky versus what is going to be portrayed in the courtroom. And we're going to see that at odds with each other. But again, it goes back to the jury pool that I was talking about earlier. How will the jury perceive him, right? How will they perceive this man who is a father of 2, is a partner to his mother of his children? Do they see that, or do they see a criminal? Which is the core competency of why you want to have a jury be judged by people who are reflective of you and who understand where you come from.
And guys, we should also mention that A$AP Rally also filed a defamation suit against A$AP Rocky and its attorney, who deny any wrongdoing. Brian and Mike, again, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Always good to see you guys.